What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Apologies to anyone watching live or not watching live who saw my tweet earlier saying that we were going to go live at 9:30. I decided, because I was sat around not doing much, that we'd start a bit earlier. Means I can get going to bed earlier, basically. For anyone that didn't watch the live stream, the reason I look a bit like a 12-year-old who's just started growing hair at school for the first time, I'm doing Movember. So I have to say, before we start things off, thanks to everyone that's donated so far. So that's Ollie, Fozzie in the chat. Someone donated €10 anonymously, so you know who you are. Thanks very much for that. Philip Stray and Jake Spice so far, much appreciated. What you're seeing in real time is basically how slowly I grow a beard, because this is like all the growth since Wednesday. So I've shaved, a little bit of a mustache coming on. So let's... my missus said I look like a 12-year-old, basically, that's just started growing hair for the first time. So, yeah, that's why I look like this. Let's get on with the FPL stuff. If you want to donate, someone asking in the chat, the link is in the description below, if that's what you want to do. Otherwise, let's move on. So, FPL, it was a good week. I'm happy. Not going to lie, I know it's often frowned upon when you have a good week and you talk about it. For people that have had bad weeks, that sucks. A lot of people had bad weeks last week and then good weeks this week. It happens. I scored 84. I'm all out basically on points, which is why there's a star next to game week rank and overall rank, because they will change. They will get lower. We've got no more players to come, no bench players, etc. So people with Schürrle and Mitrovic tomorrow, maybe bench points to come in, captain switches and stuff like that. Probably not too many because Hazard played today. So I'm expecting to stay in the top 10k. So I'm really happy about that. I've not been in the top 10k very often in my FPL career. So to be in it this early is awesome. I'm really happy about it. So let's see if I can stay there, because I got close before and then dropped down to like 20k. And shot back up this week. But Richarlison, brilliant. Alonso obviously getting the bonus points. Aguero played 90 minutes. Still not as good as Sterling. We're going to chat about Sterling. If you got Sterling, if you captain Sterling, fair play to you. Jimenez, which was like a roller coaster, that Wolves game. And Arnautovic, I feel like that was just rewards for bringing him in last week after he went ill. So, yeah, good times. Anyway... Hello, how are we all? What's up with Anderson? Like Mr. Anderson, Matrix style. What am I doing with Maddison? Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. I'm pretty clear, to be honest, on what I'm going to do with my team right now. And potentially what I'm going to do next week is in game week 13. So there's an international break coming soon. So I'll go through that in a minute. Yeah, Carmina, you woke up to a lot of FPL tweets. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened today. Sterling, Salah or Hazard, pick 2. Yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. I think that Sterling can't be ignored. We've ignored him for long enough. A lot of people got on him instead of Aguero. So fair play to those guys. I mean, I did say like streams ago, I think I even said it on the Scoutcast when I was last on. We discussed Aguero and Sterling. And I said then, and my thoughts haven't really changed, if FPL came up to me and said, you can put Sterling in your team, get rid of Aguero, you can make that switch for free, it will cost you no transfers at all, I would do it, for sure. I think Sterling just being the midfielder, he's going to get loads of attacking returns. I would probably make the switch, but am I ever going to take 2 transfers to remove Aguero to get Sterling? Probably not. Will I regret it down the line? Maybe, but it's hard to take Aguero out when he scores points so often. Especially at home, he's like a machine for captaining at home. Now, don't get me wrong, Sterling's great too. I think he's actually outscored Aguero every game they've started together. So it's not like Sterling's a bad option, but it just feels like a luxury move to me. So am I thinking about getting Sterling? Yes. Is he going to be in replacement of Aguero? No, probably not. But I do have another way of thinking about getting him. We'll talk about that in a minute. There are 5 polls if you want to vote on them, top right hand corner as usual. Maddison, I know he comes up every week at the moment. People are still talking about it in 4th blank in a row now. Should Aguero make way for Sterling? Is Byron Wilson still a good option? So people, I mean, a lot of people after he scored that goal against Man United were calling him a season keeper. I think that's a bit premature. We're only 11 weeks into the season, but maybe I'm wrong on that one. Maybe I'm still a bit bitter for getting rid of him in game week 7. And then is it time to look away from Robertson, Mendy and Alonso? Obviously, none of them did anything this week. Well, Alonso got the assist, sorry, but no clean sheets. So now people getting a bit panicky on them. So yeah, that's the polls if you want to vote on them. Got 105 points, very nice. Yeah, people mentioning Mark. He's on 109, I think, -4. 41 points, ouch. There's a few people like that, though. I think I was checking mini leagues yesterday, and loads of people had the same. You know, it was all Aguero, Alonso, Mendy, and Hazard today. So if you had a bad day on Saturday, today probably didn't help too much rank-wise, unless you had Sterling captain, of course. Morata, yeah, he's now scored 4 in the last 4, I think. I'll have to double check that, see if I'm correct. But yeah, he looks in form at the moment, and we know that Chelsea have got good fixtures. Barkley blank today, of course. I mean, I don't know if people were expecting too much from... They probably were expecting too much from Barkley. I mean, he's not going to suddenly be that guy that scores points every week, but if he plays, he can still chip in that team over the next few weeks. But there's nothing to say that Hazard doesn't start the next game, and Kovacic plays instead of Barkley, so we'll have to see what happens there. Salah will make way for Sterling for me. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are going to do, and to be honest, that's probably my plan too. And we're looking at Lacazette, not yet, but around game week 16, Arsenal's fixtures do turn. So I'll be looking at Arsenal assets then. It's also around the time that Spurs fixtures change in game week 15, so they're very close together, 15 and 16 for the North London teams, Spurs and Arsenal. So it'd be interesting to see what people do there, whether they move on players quickly. I mean, obviously it's tough to fit someone like Lacazette in, or even Kane in, unless you're getting rid of Aguero. So over Christmas, for example, Aguero might get a bit more rotation. Obviously, right now he's playing every single game, which is brilliant. And also one of the reasons I can't get rid of him. I hope that Lovren doesn't play against Fulham because I'm worried about Trent. I'll put my team up in a minute. But Richarlison is making a mockery of... I've probably said it myself. I probably said he wasn't playing as well, but people saying he can't play up front. I mean, he's now got 4 attacking returns in 4 games up front. I think he's getting close to... Let me have a double check it a sec. What's he on now? 56 points, and he missed 2 games. And he obviously got sent off in one. So, even if we include the game that he got sent off, he's on 6.2 points per game, which for his price is brilliant. So, Richarlison not to be sniffed at. Tough fixture next week. But I think it's Cardiff at home the week after that. So decent. Is Gross a budget option? What's his price actually come down to now? Let me have a look. I don't even think he's played, has he? Let me see. 6.7 is he now? Yeah, 6.7. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm looking at him until he's come back into the team and played a couple of games. Fixtures are good, but you don't know if he's going to suddenly come in and play 70, 80 minutes 4 times in a row. So I think it's probably a bit early to get on him. Oh, apologies. I've still got like the remnants of a cold. Throat's tickling again. Jimenez, are you keeping or selling now? Look, I can't remember what I said on him before. I think I had to keep for Huddersfield and Cardiff. The one thing I've backtracked on is I was going to bench him this week. I'm not going to do that now. You know, some people saying it's a bit jammy that he got the penalty, but there was never... Obviously, Neves took the first one, so I did think... I was actually playing Call of Duty for the second half with Luke, Disable. Some of you might follow him. He's on the Scoutcast and stuff. And we saw the penalty had gone. They were been rewarded a penalty, and he basically said, "I said it's Neves, right?" And he said, "Well, it could be Jimenez. We don't know. This is what we've been waiting for." And then Neves took it. I was like, "Oh, they got another penalty." And I was like, oh, "Okay, well, it's Neves brace." And then I saw that Jimenez had taken it. It was just amazing. So maybe a little bit dodgy, or a little bit lucky, but at the same time, he had a perfectly good offside goal that wasn't offside, or a perfectly good onside goal that was called offside. So, yeah, long story short is I'm going to keep him. I think if you check his stats, you can go, like I checked his stats on Fantasy Football Scout. He's not that far off Callum Wilson, to be honest. And like I said, people are calling Callum Wilson a season keeper. He's less money. He's averaging 4.5 points per game over the season. Which is obviously, he's not that much, he's about $1 million less than Richarlison, so obviously he's not quite performing at the levels of Richarlison, but he is less money, and there's no reason why he can't pick up a little bit. I'm not expecting him to get up to the likes of 6 points per game, but I don't know. Hopefully he can just chip in with some goals. He's got Cardiff and Huddersfield soon, Arsenal next, so that'll be tricky, but yeah, of course, I wasn't expecting 12 points against Spurs, but I wanted something from Doherty. I was hoping he'd get an attack in return. And he did, and it got ruled out, so that was super frustrating. Jimenez will travel to Mexico during the international break. Then faces Huddersfield. He may only get 60 minutes. Possibly, yeah, but I mean, he's their only real option up front, I think. Until they get to January and maybe buy someone else. So he's going to play. That's another reason I like him. And there's nothing to say that he won't take the first penalty next time. So for his price, the only other option really is Ings or Success. I did look at Success, Jimenez to Success, which would have let me do Trent to Robertson, but I mean, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think Jimenez has just done enough for me to keep him since I've had him. I think he's only blanked twice since I've had him. And like I said, he's getting the chances. He's not got as many big chances as Callum Wilson, and I'm not expecting him to, given how Bournemouth attack compared to Wolves. But I know I've watched him 3 times. I said this on Twitter earlier. I've watched him 3 times, and from a From a eye test point of view, I always think he looks okay. Not massively dangerous, maybe, but again, he's a 5.7. Let me check his actual price because I got him at 5.5, I think. Yeah, he's a £5.7 million striker. I mean, what are you expecting from him, I guess, is the key question. Anyway, again, short version is yes, I'm keeping him. At least for Cardiff and Huddersfield, and then we'll see. Anyway, I'm shutting up about Jimenez now. Okay, Maddison, so it sucks. 4 blanks in a row. What am I doing with him? I'm keeping him, basically, because... So I'll show you my team for this week, right? You've seen last week's team enough. Here we go. So this is my team for this week. Nice to see Danny Ward back, by the way, for Cardiff. Hopefully he'll starting again soon. It also makes me... I'm quite happy about that because it means I don't have to worry about my bench options too much because they're all playing. So this is how I'm set up. So originally I had Doherty playing and I was benching Jimenez. I think... because I'm not really expecting a clean sheet for Wolves. So I'm relying on attacking returns from Doherty, so I figure I'll just play the attacker instead. Even though obviously he's a fair way up the pitch. But the other thing I've looked at is maybe benching Richarlison. But I just don't want to do that even against Chelsea. So yeah, Doherty's on the bench right now. But anyway, Maddison, I don't have any money in the bank. I've got like 0.2 million. So the first question is, who would I switch him to? Who's got a better fixture than Burnley at home? And I'm not sure there is too many players. You know, Barkley, I'm not interested in Ross Barkley. Deulofeu, again, like, I wouldn't be expecting too much from him. So for me, I've got Anderson maybe for West Ham, Huddersfield away. But haven't they got Man City after that? Yeah, it's Man City at home after that, so I wouldn't be expecting too much there. So potentially Anderson after Man City. But what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably just going to play Maddison and save the transfer because I don't think there's a key area I need to swap this week. I'm not expecting a good week because Aguero and Mendy are playing Man United, and as bad as we've been, we could nick a goal there. Keep Aguero quiet, maybe. Not too convinced about that, but obviously Jimenez is playing Arsenal, etc. So I'm not expecting a huge week, apart from a Salah versus Fulham, maybe. But yeah, Maddison, basically, I'm keeping because it's Burnley, and Burnley have been really bad. They're like Fulham-esque, especially when they're playing away this season. They've just not been good at all. So Maddison's been a bit unlucky as well, I think, in the last 4 weeks. You could say that's cancelling out the luck that people were talking about before that when he was scoring points. So yeah, I'm going to give him the Burnley game, then I'm going to have 2 free transfers. And this is what I'm looking to do with Sterling, is keep Salah for Fulham at home, and then switch him to Sterling, which will give me 2 million in the bank, which would let me do Maddison to anyone up to 8.7 million. Now, annoyingly, that's 0.2 million off getting Ali, who I would like to look at least maybe by game week 15. Or it will let me do Maddison to Anthony Martial after he's played Man City, and then he has Palace, Southampton, Arsenal, Fulham in the next 4. Obviously, that Fulham and Palace games at home is what I'll be looking at. So that's basically what I'm doing. I can see why people are looking at getting rid of Maddison, but I just don't know if this is the week to do it. I know we could be saying that for ages, but I think I'd be happy letting him go after Burnley. Then he has got Brighton and Fulham in the next 3 after that, but they're both away, and then the fixtures do stiffen up a bit. You're looking at kind of Spurs, Chelsea, and Man City, and the 3 after that. So I don't know if there's necessarily a huge rush to get rid of him this week. But yeah, I'm keeping him basically. And I'm looking at doing. Let me just Rasmus, if you're looking for super chat, I've turned that off because of Movember. So there's no super chats on. If you want to make a donation to the Movember page, the link's in the description below. So you should be able to do it from there. I'll be keeping an eye on any donations as well. So if there are any during the stream, I'll read them out. Oh, and there's been one now. Adam Lamb, a legend of the stream, been around for a long time. Doesn't actually chat as much as he used to. Unless the chat's just going so quick I don't see him. But thanks very much, Adam. Good luck, great cause, he says. So much appreciated. Since I've joined the stream, it's been a 10-minute rant on Jimenez and Maddison. Yeah, apologies about that. It happens. So yeah, after Fulham at home, so I was looking at Salah's fixtures, or Liverpool's fixtures. Now, they're not bad at all. I would expect points in a lot of them. But I'm thinking, how often would I captain him after Fulham? So the only home games from game week 13 to 18, so 6 fixtures, are Everton at home. Arguably, you could captain him in that game, but that's the same week that Hazard has Fulham. So you're always going to go for Hazard, I think. And the other home game is Man United at home. And again, like for me, however bad Man United are playing, I don't think you're going to captain someone against them. And that's in game week 17. So let me have a look at that. So Chelsea have Brighton away, and Man City have Everton at home. So again, you don't need to captain Salah in that game. And outside that, it's away games: Watford, Burnley, Bournemouth, and Wolves. Wait, let me see if I got that. Watford, Burnley, and Bournemouth. So again, okay fixtures, but I just don't know if you're going to captain necessarily in those away games. So I may go Salah to Sterling, who has a very similar set of fixtures, but a few more decent home games. So in that same time, he has Palace, Everton, and Bournemouth at home, and then West Ham and Watford are the away games with Chelsea in there as well. So I'm probably going to do Salah to Sterling after the Fulham game. I'll have 2 free transfers. It's going to be a big call to get rid of Salah. But yeah, I'll have to look at it, I think. Send me card number and security code. No, I don't think so. There's an overlap with your cast and FPL family. Yeah, I will go back to 9:30 streams at some point. It just made sense for me to do 9 tonight. Luke, you got 93 points this week. Kennedy coming on 96 overall. Ooh, smashed it. Espen with the Sterling captain as well. Very nice. Yeah, it's a bit annoying not being able to watch the game today. Having to check on Twitter. Mane for captaincy. Look, I think if you've not got Salah yet, it has to be Mane. It's by far the best fixture this week. Any time you're playing Fulham at home, I think it's the best fixture. Hydration is key to success, definitely. So you'll double up on Man City? Yeah, I think so. See, the way I would look at it is, I know people don't like double ups and stuff, and obviously there's only so many goals to go around, but when it's Man City involved, there's a lot of goals to go around. And it's basically, it's not, for me, I'm not looking at the fact that I'd have Aguero and Sterling. I'm looking at is Sterling plus like nearly 2 million better than Salah? And I think it probably is. Just about. And like I say, because someone's just mentioned the fixtures, I'm not arguing that Salah's got bad fixtures. I'm just arguing about how many times you would captain him in those fixtures. I'm going to have, before I make the move, because we've basically got this week where I'm going to make no transfers. Obviously, I'm going to have Salah for Fulham at home. And then we've got a 2-week international break. So I've got a long time to think on this. There could be other injuries that come, happen. But that's what I'm looking at right now. Possibly Salah out to Sterling. And it lets me upgrade Maddison as well. So I don't have anything in the bank right now apart from 0.2 million. Sterling plus 2 million is the new Mane plus 1 million. Yeah, something like that. No way Sterling plays all those games. Yeah, there could be a bit of rotation, but I mean, out of 6 game weeks, is he gonna get rotated more than once? Not so sure. Why am I not on the Scoutcast? I just decided to drop out. Have a bit more spare time in the evenings, basically. Oh, another donation. Jason, thanks very much. Didn't you already? Oh no, I thought you'd already donated. Thanks very much, Jason. Much appreciated. But rotation is why I can't get rid of Aguero. He's not been rotated once. It's very. I keep seeing people say, "Why have you got Aguero when Sterling's do better?" But when you've already got Aguero, it's very hard to make the switch, I think. Obviously, Sterling owners are laughing because they're ahead of the game. Thoughts on Man City options other than Sterling? I mean, they're all going to be rotated, right? People were looking at Mahrez because he started 3 or 4 in a row and got points, and then he gets rotated. And that's what's going to happen. They're all going to get rotated. I think Sterling didn't miss that many games last year, when he was fit. I think they have got even more options this year, obviously, with Mahrez there. And Bernardo Silva playing well too. So he may miss a few more than he did, but he's integral to that team. They're just even though they would win matches without him, I just think they're better with him. So we're going to see him play, of course, more often than not. So I think he could still be worth it. Over Christmas, though, it's not the worst shout to look at players that definitely aren't definitely not going to get benched, but are less likely. So Kane, for example, obviously very expensive, but you'd expect him to play 70, 80 minutes every single game over Christmas. He's on penalties. Spurs' fixtures also get better. So I know the first thing people are going to say is he's not worth 12.4 or whatever he is now, and you're probably right, but when you know he's going to probably play every game and not get rotated, and he's on penalty, so you can always get a dodgy penalty from out of nowhere, I think you've got to take that into account. And again, no one's saying you have to own him for the whole season by any stretch. But yeah, something to look at. And I think the same with Salah. He could get rotated over Christmas, but probably less likely than or less often compared to someone like Sterling. So you've got to take that into account. Christmas is catching up on us fast. It's only 26, 25, 51 days. Let's get your presents bought now. Don't wait too long for it. Had Sterling Aguero, but captain Aguero. Yeah, I mean, you can't be too annoyed at that. You've still got, you know, 2 of the top scorers for the week. Oh, triple captain Sterling, 63 points. I mean, that's how you do it. Fair play to that guy. Or girl. Yeah, that's not a funny joke. Have the same front three, looks pretty set all the way through to Christmas. Yeah, I think the thing with Jimenez is, like I said, there's not really any competition for the striker spot. So he's probably going to be good all over Christmas. Probably play most games. The odd penalty here or there. And Arnautovic just looks brilliant. I mean, the title of the stream is kind of robbed. You know, Arnautovic arguably should have had a penalty. Vardy should have maybe had a penalty. Mane scored, that was onside. The Doherty to Jimenez, I know I've spoken about them a lot, but I glossed over the fact that they didn't get their goal, but that was 7 points staring me right in the face. And yeah, that was a sickener, to be honest. He was on the side, and it wasn't even that close, really. So yeah, that was super frustrating. So we need... Oh, Vardy's was offside. Okay, fair enough. I've not seen it. I just saw people talking about it. But I think, you know, Jimenez and Mane definitely onside. So frustrating, to be honest. If VAR was around, we'd have more points. People keep asking me what my overall points are. 742 as it stands. Like I said, I won't get any more this week. But yeah, I mean, the decision was harsh for Jimenez, but in the end, justice was served. Shame that Doherty didn't get any points, but I suppose that's the way it goes. Thoughts on Lacazette captain versus Wolves? I mean, fine, yeah, if you've not got any Liverpool players. I think Mane and Salah both trump him, to be honest. Do you bench Jimenez that plays Arsenal away, or Decore or Femina that plays Southampton? I'd probably play Jimenez, I think, out of all those. Let me just see the fixtures a sec. Yeah, I would... I'd probably play Jimenez. Who is... Hang on a sec. Oh, it's Kiko, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably bench him. I know Southampton are bad, but still. Yes, Jazzer, I did like that tweet. How long am I keeping Jimenez for? For the foreseeable, I'd say. I just don't know when I'm ever going to have money to upgrade him, really. Martial, the trap, is getting a lot of points, yeah. I'm definitely going to look at him after Man City. Just worried a little bit about rotation over Christmas, but I don't know if I'd even have him that long, so we'll see. Is Arnautovic essential? No, I don't think any player is essential. He's a very good option. Should I get him in instead of Wilson or Aguero? Oof. It's got to be Wilson if you're going to get him in, but I don't know. Wilson's got Newcastle this week. I'm not sure I'd do it this week. And then Arnautovic's got Man City next week, so you could probably hold again. Am I going triple Liverpool for Fulham? No. I mean, I could do Hazard to Mane, but if I was going to make that move, I would have probably done it this week after the comments. But I think Hazard's got Everton. That's good enough for me. I've got no easy way of getting Mane. So then you're looking at players like Milner, getting Robertson in for Alonso Mendy. I'm just not going to do it, to be honest. But yeah, Mane and Salah look really good for this week. I'm hanging on to Maddison for this week. Then we'll see. Any sense on holding on to Kane when I have no Liverpool attackers? I mean, Kane, for me, right now, he's a bit expensive, I think, for what he's returning. Game week 15, the fixtures switch a bit. But you're just not captaining him at all, and I just don't think he's worth the money, personally. What's up, Jack? So, short answer is Liverpool attackers will be better, yeah. For this week, for sure. I just saw the comment about Aguero. He's only good at home. I think weirdly, I think fixtures aren't being looked at enough this year. Like, there seems to be a bit of shock when someone doesn't score very well against the top six, and then suddenly they're back in form when they play like Cardiff and Huddersfield or whoever it might be. So I can't deny the fact that Sterling has done okay in these away fixtures. But Aguero is basically blanked against Arsenal, Wolves. He scored against Cardiff. These are all away games. And then he's blanked against Spurs and Liverpool. Bearing in mind he's only played like 65, 70 minutes in those games as well. So he's blanked three out of 4 away games. Sorry, he's blanked in 4 out of 5. And out of those 4, 3 of them were against top 6 teams. And the Wolves game, as a unit, Man City only scored 1 goal. So it's not like Sterling, Sané, Mendy, etc. went off and got loads of points. It was a 1-1 draw. So I can't help but think that's a bit of the problem. Again, not saying that he's a better option than Sterling or anything. If you've got Sterling or whatever, then he got points in some of those games. So you could probably use that as a good argument to the fact that Aguero has done bad in those away games. But for me, let's see after the next 2, which are West Ham and Watford. In the next 4 fixtures, he has 2 home games, Man United and Bournemouth. You'd expect him to do well in the Bournemouth game for sure, maybe the Man United game as well. And then West Ham and Watford away. If he still blanks in those 2, then fair enough. I'll maybe concede that in the away games he's not quite as good, but let's see when he's not playing a top 6 team. And go from there. Now, will I captain him in either of those games? No, probably not. In fact, I'll probably only captain him once in the next 5 game weeks. And that's if I haven't got Sterling. You need a Mitrovic replacement. Let's see what he does tomorrow. But yeah, fair enough. Fixtures do turn a bit. You're thinking Jimenez or Murray. So there, if you want to talk about a player with away fixtures, or maybe not as good in away fixtures, then Murray's your man. I mean, the thing about Jimenez, he frees up a bit of money for you. But would we still be talking about him if he hadn't jammed that penalty yesterday? Maybe not. But right now, let's just say I'm very happy with Jimenez. You're probably not going to bring him in against Arsenal, though. That's the only thing. Will Richarlison get a mention for captain? Probably not, because his good game's against Cardiff, isn't it, in game week 13. Let's have a look. Don't want to break the kind of captain streak, 10 out of 11. But Spurs play Chelsea. I mean, I'm probably going to captain Man City player against West Ham in that week. But yeah, Richarlison against Cardiff, not the worst shout. Okay, let's just get rid of this guy. Man City will beat Man United 2-1. Yeah, probably. Maybe even more. Have I thought about joining a draft league for next year? I never keep up with them. That's the problem. We'll have to wait on Maguire news. Richarlison to Sigurdsson for a hit. Oof. Yeah, that's... I mean, I know it looks even worse now because Richarlison did so well, but that does seem a little bit weird on paper. To take a hit to do such a sideways move. And it's not even like Sigurdsson's cheaper either. Yeah, not good, Jack. Should I do Sterling to Salah or Sigurdsson to Mane? My plan this whole time was to bring in Salah against the rubbish Fulham, but today makes it difficult to get rid of Raheem. I mean, Sterling to Salah is a 1-week transfer. You're probably going to reverse it after that. I think Sigurdsson to Mane is probably the better play. No beard, not so bad. I mean, I tell you now, the beard will be coming straight back. Yeah, it might take me a while, but it's coming straight back. You got 5 expensive defenders. How to get off? Mendy, Alonso, Trippier, Robertson, and Pereira. I mean, the best way to get off is start selling them. I mean, you've got 5 at the back. You've got 5 very good defenders. Mendy, Alonso, and Robertson are, of course, the in favour ones right now. Pereira, Leicester's got good fixtures, but don't know how many clean sheets I'm expecting them to get, really. Especially if Maguire's out longer term. I don't know what his injury was, actually. I didn't check on that. Trippier's been doing okay, though. So I don't know if there's a rush to get off that. You've got 5 very good players. But start looking at kind of like Wan-Bissaka, Doherty, Bennett, and players like that if you want to downgrade. Sterling to Mane for a couple of weeks. Is it going to be a couple of weeks though? I mean, it could be, but it's really only the Man United game next that's a worry for Man City, and even that's not a huge worry, I don't think. I do feel like Sterling to a Liverpool player is a 1 week move. How can you donate the super? So I've got rid of the super chat option because I'm doing Movember. Link in the description below. So if you want to make a donation to that, obviously feel free. Appreciate that a lot of people wanted to do the super chats, and we'll turn them back on in December. But for now, I'm just trying to get the Movember thing going. So if you want to make a small donation, it'd be much appreciated. Would love to hear your opinion on the draft part, your knowledge about FPLs. You would shine in draft. The thing is, I don't know how much there is to talk about on draft week to week, because everyone's got different players, of course. So I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of a player who's about to go wild that we're not talking about yet. If I knew that, I'd probably win FPL. But let's say Martial, for example, Man United have got good fixtures to come. There's no point in talking about how good it would be to get Martial in draft, because chances are he's already taken. There's not a lot you can do, really. That's why I don't really talk about draft too much. Week to week, don't feel like there's enough to talk about. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name yet, but is it Diagana? So look, there's a West Ham midfielder, basically. 4.5 million. He won't be 4.5 million for long. Where is he? Oh yeah, Diangana, Grady Diangana. Yeah, he looked pretty good yesterday. Got the assist. I think he was the one that got fouled for the penalty that wasn't given. So that would have been another assist. But yeah, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people got on him early. 4.5 million for West Ham's fixtures. Very, very good option by the looks of it, if he keeps his place. Could even downgrade Maddison to him. Have loads of money in the bank. Could even be 3-5, like a 3. I could swap Ward for him, for example, and just have him or Jimenez every week. Just have loads of options. But there you go. There's a player that a lot of people probably won't have in draft. So snap him up if you haven't already. Yeah, it's a luxury transfer. I won't be doing it, to be honest. Oh wow, there's some sad people around. There you go. Back in the top 5k with Mitrovic to play. Very nice. David Brooks, yeah. He looks good. But I think Bournemouth's fixture's a bit tricky for the next few. It's the only thing. So if you've got him, fine. But if not, then I'm not sure I'd be buying. What are my plans with Trent? Just touching on the Felipe Anderson stuff before I answer that. Again, though, he's been ignored despite his fixtures. You're right, and the fixtures have created the form. And I saw a tweet go out about Wilson saying form over fixtures is always the way. But there's a few things. I think people saying form over fixtures as soon as someone scores is just ridiculous, because there's plenty of players so far. Like Lacazette, for example, went through a bit of a dry spell when he wasn't playing the likes of Cardiff and Fulham and whoever else he scored against. Salah was considered out of form when he played 3 top 6 sides. And then suddenly in form when he plays against weaker teams, Huddersfield and Cardiff. So you're right, we didn't look at the fixtures enough with Anderson. We're all looking at Arnautovic, and yeah, the fixtures have created form basically, and that happens a lot. Wilson won't. I mean, to be fair, Wilson won't play United every week. Bournemouth were very, very good, especially in that first half. They were kind of all over us and kind of taught our defence a bit of a lesson. But even Wilson's goal, which was... He didn't get really any other clear-cut chances. Even that was a really big defensive mistake. Even bigger than any of the other mistakes. So, arguably got a bit... I don't want to say lucky, But will he keep that up against top 6 sides? I mean, we'll see in the next few weeks. I think draft is fine to like kind of do one with a few people, maybe a few subscribers or whatever it might be, Patreon or something like that. But it's just not something I would keep up. Is Button an issue now? Not right now, because hopefully once he's back, when he's not injured anymore, he'll be back on the subs bench. I'll be keeping an eye on that though. I didn't notice that. For anyone that went Ryan and Button like me, Button has not been on the bench the last 2 games. So we'll see. If Ryan goes away to play football in January or whenever it is, and Button's not the backup keeper, I'll have to make a change there. And Leno will be the one I'm looking at. Leno for sure. Arsenal keeper for 4.8. What's my best scoring game week ever? It's like 170 odd from a double game week. Bournemouth's overrated. No one remembers they've only faced 1 top 6 team so far. I wouldn't say overrated. They have played very well. But again, we will see in a couple of weeks when they play. Who have they got? I think it's Man City and Chelsea. Could be wrong. Arsenal and Man City. So let's see what happens there. I mean, Arsenal, to be fair, have not been the most defensively sound team. Nathan, you got the same score. Congratulations. Fixtures for Wilson: Arsenal, Liverpool, City, Spurs, and United. Well, not United. Have they got City and Liverpool after that? So look. Oh yeah. So it's Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool in the next 5, but they also have Huddersfield and Arsenal around that. So let's see how that goes. Why are we judged against it? No, chill out, JB. No one's saying that Bournemouth are a bad team. We're talking from an FPL perspective, and I mean, even you, I'm sure, will agree there's less likely to get as many points as versus non-top 6 teams. Advice for someone slowly but surely sliding down the ranks was top 5k in the first 6 weeks, 5 red arrows outside the top 100k. I wouldn't raise transfer if possible. I mean, it's hard to say without looking at your team, but I would try and think or focus and think clearly. Don't raise transfer. I'm not sure that ever helps. But, you know, players like Sterling, like a lot of us haven't got, he's still really low owned. So have a bit of patience. There's only 11 game weeks gone. There's still 27 to go. So you've got a lot of time to catch back up. Points are still quite close. So if I do... There's a site called Gargatron.com. Let me just... so you just type in your ID. So I'm ranked 8,150, but I'm only 4 points ahead of top 10k and only 37 ahead of the top 50k. So top 1k is actually a bit closer than top 50k, but there's not many. The point is, there's not many. The point, no pun intended, is there's not many points different so far. So even if you're 100k, you're only 55 points off where I am now. It's not a lot to catch up. I'll put it in the chat because. That's the case for all teams. Yeah, exactly. But we're chatting about Bournemouth because they've been so good. It's just that their fixtures are about to turn. It's not anything against Bournemouth in particular. And again, no one's saying they won't score points, but FPL is all about prediction, and you would predict most of the time that when the team has to play more top 6 teams than not in a short space of time, they're probably not going to get as many points. Doesn't mean it definitely will happen. I mean, look at Wilson this week. Go for differentials now to go for top 1k or even higher. Like I say, top 1k from me right now is 31 points. That's not very much. I mean, how different do I really have to go? I mean, if I showed you my team for this week just gone, you'd probably say it's template, but yeah, I've gone from 21k to 8k. So I don't know if I have to go massively different, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people will have looked to bring Salah after the last game, so maybe I'm one step ahead there. Yes, everyone's going to have him for Fulham, but maybe I'll look to then get rid and they'll hold on to him a bit long. I'll get Sterling in. We'll see what happens. I'm not in... Jesus. I think, like I said, there's 27 weeks left. As much as I would love even to get into the top 1k, not counting my chickens just yet. Top 5k is only 8 points off. That would be nice. But I also don't want to drop too much either. So we'll see. I haven't really made any choices based on ownership, to be honest. How's it going, Lee and Sam? Thanks very much. Is Arnie essential? Now, no one's essential. I don't think there's one essential player. I mean, last year for sure, Salah was essential, I think. But this year, I don't think anyone is completely essential so far. The second wildcard it's in the second half of the season, basically. So I'm pretty sure it's available from game week 20 onwards. But checking the rules. Oh, you've halved your rank, Dark Knight. You're coming for me. Bring it on. Hazard's essential. Yeah, debatable, I think. I mean, essential is like... I don't know. I don't know. I don't think he's essential. You absolutely have to have him. I mean, he's 11 odd million. I mean, is Hazard going to outscore Sterling by too much over the course of the season? I mean, maybe you give it to Hazard just because he's got penalties and he's more likely to play week in, week out once his back injury's sorted. But there's probably not too much in it. So is he essential? I'm not sure about that. How's it going, Adam? Thanks very much for donation, by the way. I did read it out, Schminego. I'm not sure if you're in the stream. Am I playing Red Dead Redemption 2? I am not yet. Just too long of a game for me to be playing right now. I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty. Cheers, Simon. Enjoy your beauty sleep. If you bank 2 transfers, don't make a transfer. Do you still keep 2? Yeah, you can't have any more than 2. I probably won't do quick fire tonight because my throat's really sore. That's why I have to keep muting the mic to cough. On for 30 seconds already, back in the points. Yeah, I can't begrudge that. Penalties. Yeah, I think, look, Hazard's an extremely good option. He's going nowhere from my team, but essential, I don't know about that. When would you be looking to play wildcard to target fixture swings if you had it in the back pocket? I was actually thinking about this earlier. So I remember on the Scoutcast, we were chatting about about fixture swings, and I remember saying, you know, we've got Salah, we've got Man City assets, we've got Robertson, Mendy at the time, at least. I don't have Robertson now, and I remember saying, you know, which teams are we waiting for fixture swings on? Because you kind of want to target the big teams usually. And then I thought, well, back to my wild card, and the key thing for my wild card was getting Wolves players in, which is just, you know, you don't expect your season to turn because you've got Doherty or Jimenez in your team, but that's kind of what happened. So, off the top of my head, without going searching, the 2 teams that have fixture swings soon are Arsenal in game week 16 and Spurs, I think, in game week 15. And even Man United after Man City have a bit of a little run there. But the thing is, it's all well and good targeting them, but who are you getting rid of to fund them? You know, even though the fixtures might not be as good, you're probably not getting rid of the likes of Aguero, Sterling, Hazard. So it makes it very difficult to fit in, you know, Lacazette, Kane, Ali, Eriksen. So I don't know if there's a particular week I would use it in. But if I was going to wild card soon, then I'd be looking at maybe Ali and Eriksen. But the problem is, you want to see them start a few games soon. Eriksen was on the bench in the last game. Ali wasn't even in the squad. Son came on, then back off before the end of the game. So he's obviously not fully fit either. So, or he could have just been managed actually because of the way the game was playing. But either way, there's no players there apart from Kane. But then you have to get rid of Aguero potentially if that's the way your team is set up. So I don't know if there is a good fixture swing that would make me wildcard. But obviously you can't hold onto it forever. So if you're in a good position, but there's a few players you want to switch out, you could just use it and wildcard from kind of a position of strength instead of weakness. You're saying Doherty will do bits versus Arsenal. Yeah, I mean, he might do. It's him or Jimenez for me this week. I don't think I'm going to bench Richarlison. I mean, Richarlison was the first one I looked at benching because it's Chelsea. But yeah, look, I mean, there's obviously a chance that Trent doesn't even play against Fulham, in which case Doherty will come on. So we'll see. You got 39 points for Wilson because you triple captain him. Was it really worth it? I mean, 13 points is okay. Yeah, probably going to save 2 transfers, yeah. If you haven't already, by the way, make sure to click on the top right-hand corner, the little I button. That'll let you vote on the polls. We're going to do them soon. I hadn't actually realised the time. Going pretty quick. Just always goes so quick when you're having this much fun. And if you haven't already, hit the like button. Be much appreciated. As always. Oh, we've had a few more donations. One from Espen Larson. I'll read out the amount of money because it's been done for good reason. €21 from Espen Larson. He says Sterling on fire. So that's obviously the amount of points that Sterling got this week. So thanks very much for that donation. We're now up to €76 for Movember. So hopefully we'll hit that €100 target and we can maybe up it a bit. How do you find your FPL ID? So you go to your points page, click view game week history, and there'll be a number in the URL. That's your FPL ID. Yeah, I figured maybe he was talking about a different game week with Wilson, not this week. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't panic too much about the wildcard. I think that's one thing I maybe... I don't know if it's a learning thing because I've done it before, but I wildcarded earlier this year. You're not going to... You never play to have an awful team where you have like 8 or 9 players you 100% have to swap. You're never going to play for that. You're always going to try and have the best squad. So you don't always need to wildcard when you've got loads of issues. So don't let it stress you that you've still got it. Danny, if you want to donate, there's a link in the description below. Well, there should be. I'll put it in the channel just in case. Copy that. Oh, what's... Should just be that. Diop or Balbuena is worth a... Oh, yeah. You're answering someone else's question. I'm giving Maddison a chance, yeah. Could do without this international break. I don't know. I like the international breaks these days. I know a lot of people, it stresses them out because there's no FPL and there's no Premier League. And obviously no matches on and stuff. You have to go for the England games or whatever country you're from. But yeah, I mean, I quite like having the break, to be honest. More Call of Duty time. Then back fresh. Because the thing is, once this international break is over, it's a long time to the next one. Let's have a look. So 24th of November, and then there's not one again till January. And it's not even an international break, that's the FA Cup break. So there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My counting's really bad. Yeah, 9 game weeks in a row with no international break. So, and Christmas is a great time of the year, but it's also great for FPL. There's so many fixtures. Still working on the laptop idea to maybe make a video while I'm in England. We'll see about that. If I donate, will you make a trip to the cinema to see Bohemian Rhapsody once that tat is in full flow? We'll see. My missus wants to watch that. It's not really my thing, but the missus wants to watch it, so you never know. Let's do the polls in 1 more minute. If you haven't already voted, we'll do them then. And make sure to hit that like button while you're doing that if you're enjoying the stream. Be much appreciated. Lacazette and Maddison out for Arnie and Mane. So I think yes for free. Like Announced and Mane on paper is definitely the better combo for this week. Maybe not even on paper because Maddison has Burnley, but the way Maddison's been playing, that sounds good. But I just think Lacazette versus Wolves and Maddison versus Burnley could punish you. Like that could really backfire. But I think if you said to everyone right now, you can either have Lacazette or Maddison, including me, or you can have Arnautovic and Mane. You would choose Arnautovic and Mane. Huddersfield and Fulham, like they're two really good fixtures. I just feel like that's two transfers that could really burn you. But yeah, I think the better two players would be the ones you're bringing in. Get the Disaronno out over the Christmas streams. Have a 3-hour stream. So we won't talk about it now. We can talk about it at the end of the stream. But really working on kind of the fitness stuff the last few weeks. So by the time game week 18 comes around, I'm thinking ahead now. I'll be going into Christmas mode of hopefully I've got the fitness stuff done. Not done, but worked on it hard over the next few weeks. And then on the Thursday stream on the 20th, that'll be the pre-Christmas stream for me. There'll be Christmas jumpers and Disaronno and beer out for sure. Excuse me. Although I have to fly the next day, so maybe not. But we'll see. There'll be something. Could Salah beat the record of 29 for the week against Fulham? Do you know what? Liverpool haven't been scoring as many goals this year so far. I don't know what their total was this time last year, but if you look through, they've only scored more than 2 goals 3 times so far. That seems quite low to me. But it is Fulham. So will he get 29? Not sure, but we'll see. He's going to do well. You'd hope he'd do well against Fulham. Will I make an appearance on the FPL show? I doubt it. Not this year. Okay, let's do the polls because I've mentioned them 2 or 3 times now. Maybe Liverpool don't have to attack so much now. They're so good in defence. Do I believe that Lovren will start? Well, I think Lovren was actually injured, right? It wasn't just dropped. So let's wait and see what happens, what his injury is. I don't know if we've had any news on that. You vote on the polls in the top right-hand corner of the screen. If you're on a desktop or a laptop, you can hover over. If you're on like an iPad or something or a tablet, I think you just have to click in the top right. Okay. What to do in Maddison? 59% are basically saying what I'm doing. Sell after Burnley. 21% saying sell right now, like Adam is doing or looking at doing, and 18% are keeping longer term. Obviously, the fixtures are still good. It's 4 blanks is a lot, but I think he will get points. Could punish us. Will he punish us? Don't know if he's going to get huge scores, but we'll see. Should Aguero make way for Sterling? 80% saying no. I probably should have done an Aguero versus Sterling poll, but I thought this was more interesting because obviously Aguero's ownership's much higher. So should he be the one to make way for Sterling? 80% saying no. And I kind of agree with that. I'd like to try and get Sterling in a different way. Hang on a second. Is buying Wilson still a good option? 52% of you saying yes. So obviously very cheap, very good amount of goals and assists so far. Even with the poorer fixtures, 52% saying yes. Impressive. Where's the last one? Is it time to look away from Robertson, Mendy and Alonso? I think this is a bit knee-jerk, so I'm expecting the answer to be no. 71% agree. It's a no right now. But who knows? In the few game weeks, let's see what happens. I have to say as well, thanks to Robin Richmond for the donation. Thanks very much. Yeah, so that's another donation there, up to €81 now, not close to the €100 target. Why did Man United play trash in the first half and not in the second half? I don't know. I don't know. It's like they don't know they're about to play a football match. I do think... I can't remember what minute he came on, but Herrera was so much better than Fred. I don't know. I want to think that Fred will be good, but it's very hard on the viewing so far. So yeah, I don't know why that happens. It's like they're shocked that a football match is happening. They can't pass. We can't pass out from the back. Like, it's so... You watch even Arsenal now. Arsenal and Chelsea have all of a sudden got managers who come in. You're playing out from the back. I think Conte did it a bit anyway, but Wenger didn't really do that. They're playing out the back, no problem. We give the ball to De Gea, smash straight out the pitch. Even with Martial and Sanchez as the front guys, and Mata, you're still lobbing the ball forward. And like Chris Smalling just can't play out from the back, and we just kept losing the ball. And to be fair, Bournemouth were great, like not taking anything away from them. They were kind of snapping at the heels so much, but it's so frustrating to watch. And in the second half, we come out and play. And you know what? Winning like late on, coming back from losing position is always great to watch, but you don't want to watch that every week. See you later, Fozzie. And I don't know if you saw earlier, but thanks very much for the donation. I did see it. I did read it out earlier. I don't know if you were in the chat. I really appreciate that. Cheers, Guarav. Apologies if I butchered your name. Good night. What is the app people use to get a better insight for fantasy? I'm not sure, but isn't there like Better at FPL or something like that? Better FPL, isn't that an app? Why do you say we play as if you were playing? And that's just... Does not everyone say that? Isn't that just like a weird thing people say even though it's not true? Obviously, I didn't play in that game. Wouldn't be very good. Wan-Bissaka is a regular starter and bonus magnet. Yeah, I wouldn't be replacing him anytime soon. Keeping him for his nicer fixtures, even though they're still a good few game weeks away. Better FPL is a Chrome extension. Oh, okay, I don't use it, to be honest. I don't use any apps really. Like Goran, but with a V. Gorav. Okay, I knew I'd butcher it. I apologise. Duffy or Dunk? I don't think there's too much in it. They both got goal threat. Obviously, Dunk just scored. I've got a personal preference towards Duffy, but mostly because I had him for a lot of last year, and I kind of guess I grew to love him as an option. But I don't think there's too much in it, to be honest. How do you find your FPL ID? I need to like. I don't know if any of you watch gamers on Twitch, but they can basically have like a little bot in the chat, and if someone says like a keyword, it'll put a message in. I need to do that for this. So when someone says FPL ID, there's a little message that explains how to get it. But you click Game Week History. So you go to points on the right. There's View Game Week History, and then in the URL is your FPL ID. Yeah, Nightbot. Jimenez or Doherty as long-term Wolves option. I think I'd prefer to have Doherty if it's one of the two. Although I'm benching him and playing Jimenez this week, so make of that what you will. Cheers, Frenchman. I don't think this week is the best time to bring in Martial, no. Don't think you've necessarily missed all his points. But bringing him in for City, although we have seen him score some really important goals in big matches like that, but it's never going to be the fixture you want to bring him in for. I don't think. Oh, we've hit the €100. Thanks to Stephen Lang with the €19 donation. We've now hit 100. Do I increase the target now? Is that how it works? I guess so. I guess I increased it a bit. Thanks very much for that. Really appreciated. Makes growing this little... I mean, look at this. I mean, it's pathetic, really. Look. Doesn't even attach itself here. Someone said about growing a handlebar. I mean, it's never going to happen. Not in a month. Yeah, thanks very much. Do I think United will beat City next week? I mean, odds are low, right? Man City are just so much better. Anyway, I think we will leave. We'll leave the FPL stuff there. If anyone wants to chat about whatever for the next 5 or 10 minutes, I'm game. But I think for the most part, that's a lot of the FPL stuff answered. Again, thanks very much to everyone that donated in Movember. For Movember. I appreciate that. For anyone not watching live, like I said, probably not too many more FPL questions, or not focused on FPL right now. Otherwise, next stream will be Thursday, probably at 9:30. I do like doing 9 o'clock if I can, but it'll probably go back to 9:30 this week because schools are back and stuff in Ireland. So tonight I just realised it was like 20 to 9 and I had time to. I wasn't really doing a lot, so just come and stream early. What was I going to say then? Obviously, I'll have the normal video out during the week as well. What prestige am I? I'm not even really playing the multiplayer. I mostly play Blackout, to be honest. With Luke, Disable from the Scoutcast, and a couple of other mates. Can I come back to the Scoutcast? Look, if someone's away and they need me on, I'll be on. But no, I'm not going to be on week to week now. They don't need me. I haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2. Favourite holiday destination? I'll be honest, haven't been on holiday that many times. But we went to Torremolinos last year, or this year. And it may have turned me on to liking hot holidays. So hopefully go on to another one next week. Bit of nostalgia. Was watching bits of the older streams the other week. So different. Yeah, I know. I mean, I always say that. If you think these streams are bad, you should go back and watch the older ones because they're even worse. Much more quieter. I think not excitable now, but a bit louder, more into it. Whereas before I was a bit more nervous. And there was, at some points in the chat, it's much more difficult to get your questions answered. That's just... What can I do about that, really? Nothing. My hope is that by answering the questions that I see, eventually your question will get answered. I mean, it's very hard to answer questions, specific ones on, your particular team. Should I take these couple of players out for these couple? I mean, there's only so many of them you can get to. Then you're only answering... Like, if you talk about Maddison or Sterling in a general sense, if someone says, what are you thinking of doing Maddison? That potentially helps out a lot of people that have got Maddison, or at least gives them something to think about. If you do too many of the, should I do X for X, then you're only really helping that one person. There will be people looking at bringing Sterling in maybe for Salah or whatever next week, and that's a bit different. But yeah, that's also worth bearing in mind. What Jeff says is, a lot of the time people come in 45 minutes or whatever after the stream started. I've probably already answered that question a load of times, like Maddison today, Sterling, and whatever. Opinions on Sanchez at United. Does he have a future? I feel like he's lost at Man United, to be honest. I was watching him, and he'll often press, and then he'll look to his right or left, and no one will be pressing with him, and it makes him really annoyed. I feel like he'd be much better in nearly any other top six side who kind of press together. But yeah, I don't know what to think about Sanchez. Obviously, he's not performed how we'd like him to. I feel like there's still a really quality player in there. I just don't know if he really played to his strengths necessarily. But I'd like to see him get a run up front now. See how it goes. Especially against Man City. Is Arnie a good captain shot against Huddersfield? I think he is, but again, I just can't look past Liverpool this week. Do you think you're the best FPL streamer in history? No. I'm sure I'm not. I don't think many people did it before me, though. What's your gym goal? To have so many muscles that I just can't stop looking in the mirror. No, the gym's going alright. I had a blip over the summer where I kept going to the gym, but I wasn't really eating properly. and I'm back into it now, and I'm doing all right. So I've got an ambitious plan to hit before I go away at Christmas. I won't say what it is because I'd rather just do it and then tell you what I'm going to do and then not do it. It's going good. Excuse me. Triple captain Salah. I think this is the week to do it if you're going to do it in a single game week. And you want to do it for Salah. What was your favourite player this game week? Jimenez is 12 points. Yeah, I find it really hard when I go away to get back into the food, really. Going to the gym's not a problem. It's getting back into the food. You've captained me as an FPL streamer. Thanks very much. Boxing would be cool, yeah. You took your captain off Sterling last minute. Harsh. All right. We'll leave it there. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button if you haven't already. It'd be much appreciated. If you're trying to go to the gym, good luck. It'll be worth it. I feel like one thing that I've done is not necessarily just try to look at the scales and stuff, but also like, I don't know, that I'm lifting X amount more weight than I was when I first started. Like I tweeted out that I'm doing like 55 kilogram deadlifts now, and for a lot of people that's like nothing. They're doing like 100 plus, but I mean I started doing 20, so more than doubled it. So you got to look at stuff like that as well as the weight and whatever. So yeah, keep at it. Look, I can't like give too many motivational words about this yet because I've still got a long way to go. But hopefully we'll get there. I've got big ambitious plans before Christmas, so hopefully I can hit that. Anyway, going for real. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you're new around here. If you can make a donation, I'll put it one more time. I know it sucks. That I keep going on about it, but look, super chat's turned off. Hopefully, if you've got a little bit of money to spare, it's a good cause. And this rubbish thing will be growing even more by the end of November. See you later all. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.